So in the last class we had done about the dissatisfaction of the Indians because of the British misusing their power, not being able to lead them properly. When you are a leader, you need to learn how to lead your people. But the Indians were not happy with the way that they were being treated by the British. So all of them began to complain. And the local people said that our kings have become puppets in their hands. It means that the kings are doing whatever the British people were telling them to do, they were doing. And that they were converting their brothers, making them or turning them into Christians. And people were now getting fed up of all this British rule, and they were planning to overthrow. Overthrow means get rid of the British. And so many sepoys began their fight against the British. The Santals in Bengal, they began their first fight. Then we also had Sepoy Mangal Pandey, who attacked his officer, and he was executed, he was killed. Yes, and the British people were so bad that they began to put the grease of from the fat of the cows and pigs on their weapons or on their bullets, which the Indians had to bite before they released. And this also upset the Hindus as well as the Muslims, because it contained the fat of both cows and pigs, and the people did not like it. So today we will be doing Revolt 1857, page 43. Then there was a violent outbreak at Meerut, a violent, deadly, a bloody outbreak at a place called Meerut in UP. The sepoys marched to Delhi. They went to Delhi, all the sepoys, all the soldiers, they went to Delhi, and there you can see in the picture on page 43, second picture, they began to shout, "Long live our Emperor Bahadur Shah." So we come to know Bahadur Shah was the leader at that time. And the rebellion spread wider. Picture 3, it began to spread, the rebellion, the fight against the British, especially by the Indian sepoys, by the soldiers. They began their fight, they began to kill the foreigners, and all those who supported the foreigners, they began to kill them. They began to massacre them one by one. Many landlords had lost their lands because of the British policies, and they were sore. So many landlords, not only kings, but even landlords in the sense who had plenty of land, even their land was taken away by the British. And because of their policies, because of their policies means rules and regulations which they had taken out against the Indians. And this also upset the landowners, because one by one their land was being taken away by the British, and they were losing a lot of money, a lot of land. And they began to talk, the white man's rule must end. Yes, we will help you. So the landlords also joined the sepoys. Yes, and they began their rebellion. This is what the revolt started. 1857, the revolt or the fight against the British started in 1857. This you may have. Now coming to the next page, the fight for freedom, 1857. The fight for freedom, 1857. Many former rulers like Begum Hasrat Mahal of Lucknow were bitter. Bitter means very angry. The white man has taken away my kingdom. They joined the upsurge against the foreigners. So Begum Hasrat Mahal of Lucknow also joined the rebellion against the British, because she also was very bitter. She also was very angry with the British. Popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmedullah of Faizabad told the people, "Rise, brothers, rise. The Angrez is ruining our land." Yes, even leaders, Muslim leaders like Maulvi Ahmedullah of Faizabad, name of a place, told these people, "Rise, brothers, rise. Come on, brothers, come on," calling everybody brothers and telling them, "Come on, let us fight against the British. The Angrez is ruining our land." Angrez means the British. The British people are ruining our land. The people rose everywhere in Bareilly, Kanpur and Allahabad. So this upsurge, this rebellion began to spread everywhere. The sepoys came to know that this rebellion has started. So everywhere they began the rebellion, in places like Faizabad, Lucknow, Bareilly, Kanpur and Allahabad. So all these places, people began to rebel. Coming to the picture 3, Azimullah Khan told Tantia Tope, We should have Peshwa Nana Sahib as our leader in this war of independence. So they had heard of Peshwa Nana Sahib, who was quite a brave soldier. So these Azimullah Khan told Tantya Tope that we must bring Peshwa Nana Sahib to our side, and he will help us win independence. He will help us in this fight. The Patriots pounced upon the British and fought pitched battles all over India, all over North India. The Patriots pound. Patriots means the people who love their country. If you love your country, you are a patriot. If you are willing to die for your country, you are a patriot. And if you die in that while helping your country, then you become a martyr. So here the Patriots, they pounced. Pounced means to jump. They pounced upon the British and fought pitched battles. Pitched means in one place. Yes, now when we have wars, when we have world wars, the enemy comes flying in an airplane or a jet or whatever it is called, fighter craft, and they throw their bombs wherever they feel like. But in the olden days, they had pitched battles. If you have seen the movie Padmavat, yes, how the two armies stand facing each other and then they fight. So here also they began to have this kind of pitched battle, standing face to face and fighting, not killing any innocent person, not just throwing bombs, not just bombing any area, but then they had a face-to-face fight. That is what is known as pitched battles all over North India. 80-year-old Kuwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in his wrist. He received a bullet in his wrist, just in his hand. Mother Ganga, this is my last offering to you. And he cut his hand and he threw it into the water of the Ganga and said, this is my last offering to you. I offer myself to you, he said. And maybe he cut his hand like we can see in the picture. So this comic-like lesson has been taken from a freedom movement by S.D. Sawant, written by S.D. Sawant, taken from that book written by S.D. Sawant. So here we have the whole lesson which is complete. So if you have doubts, you let me know. Okay. So just going back to the beginning of the lesson, we have in the first part, we have the martyrs, and the second part, we have the company's conquests, whatever areas they conquest, they took hold over, and how the Indians, they were not united, and because of which the British were able to overpower them and take away parts and parts of land of India, parts and parts of India. Then the British rule, we have number third event, the British rule 1765 to 1836. Yes, where people were preaching all wrong things. People were preaching untouchability. People were preaching child marriage, these two vices. Some people were saying women are the reason for all this trouble that we are going through. Yeah, so all these things began to happen. Amongst this, then we had a person named Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he could see into the future, and he tried to spread knowledge amongst his people. So all these things we have done. If you still have doubts, you can let me know. And now next we will come to some few question answers. Okay, we'll come to question answers on page 45. So coming to comprehension check, we'll do only comprehension check today for homework. Okay, so look at the picture 1 and recall the opening lines of the original in Hindi. Remember, we sang this song, so we don't need to write this. You know who the singer is? Yeah, Lata Mangeshkar. And who else do you see in the picture? We'll leave this because we have done this orally. In picture 2, what do you understand by the company's superior weapons? What do you understand by this word, by these words, superior weapons? So number 2 you will do for homework. Who is an artisan? Why do you think the artisan suffered? Who is an artisan? That is, somebody had answered. If you don't know the meaning, Google it or look it up in the dictionary. And why do you think the artisans suffered? Why did these cottage industry people who made small little things, why did their business suffer? Think about the answer and write your answer in short. Which picture, according to you, reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt? Which picture? You write the page number and the picture number as your answer, page number and picture number, and in a short description of that, then you can write, I think this is the picture which reveals the first sparks of the fire of revolt, where, so, then you write why do you think so? The words are given there, you can see the words in the box, so those words you can add in your answer. Okay, so just question number 2, 3 and 4 of comprehension check, page 45. That is your homework. to submit tonight before 9 p.m. Working with the text, don't do. Maybe I will give you the answers. But just this comprehension check, you do that. Okay, so I hope you understand it. Please do it correctly. Okay, so don't forget, you can Google it up. Artisan meaning. I have given you the meaning of artisan, but you can still Google it up. And for the number 4, just choose the page number and picture number and a short write-up, 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.